Tá ok, tu é gostosa, então joga tudão. Vem que vem, outra vez, senta pro chefão. Só que é de biquíni, tá maior pressão. Tava querendo rever esse teu pacotão. Toma, 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 toma. Faz o que quiser fazer, pode até subir, descer. O papel faz assim, e eu já tô fazendo, fato, fazendo. Toma, 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 o bravo. Caiu no meu papinho, já era, aí o bagulho flui. Mas bota tudo, bota soca, bota tudo. Caiu no meu papinho, já era, aí o bagulho flui. Mas bota tudo, bota soca, bota tudo. iPhone não suporta, ela bichou. Pisou no cabelinho do menor. Passou 5 minutos, ele arrastou. Deixou pros pitbull pra pro chão. Toma descendo no talento, só a voz. Pode vir novinha, tá com a buceta, não para. Cheia de tesão, tu quer fazer, te quer levar. Se você deixar, eu vou te dar uma rodada. Firma, senta e encosta. Tu fica de 4 e não bota. Papo reto, mina, eu vou te fazer uma proposta. Papo reto. Caiu no meu papel. Aí o bagulho flui.
Agora aguenta, bota a mão no joelhinho. Vai na gacha, santa, 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 santa. Vai na gacha, santa, 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 santa. Vai na gacha, santa, 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 santa. Bota a mão no joelhinho.
no fame, he's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no money, he's got his strong beliefs. Want more and more, people just want more and more freedom and love. What he's looking for, want more and more, people just want more and more freedom and love. What he's looking for, free from desire, modern senses purified, free from desire, modern senses purified, free from desire, modern senses purified, free from desire. Na 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 My lover's got no money, he's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no power, he's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no fame, he's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no money, he's got his strong beliefs. Want more and more, people just want more and more freedom and love. What he's looking for, more and more, people just want more and more freedom and love. What he's looking for, free from desire, modern senses purified, free from desire, modern senses purified, free from desire, modern senses purified, free from desire. Na 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 na
Before I go rook like Josh, with that dog like V, not that rock, that P. I made it down to my sock, can't hold my Glock, we don't really like that. Done turn, can't wipe no. Use my fish, don't like no. Limo 10 on fat, my car, yeah, I had it hurt. My broke back, I ain't had it hurt. Yeah, that's such. Two-tone AP, yeah, I'm bust. Got the head from her, ain't even wanna. Why? Don't miss. Say thing was bad. I'll tell him bro shit dad. Dog he Kim, dog he ain't try. Still up in my lash, nice in the hood. Take food chain off, not good. Probably in some fast with the Glock in the hood. Course that takes smell a walk on the wood. First turn from the hood, they curious. Boy, car about 500 years. I get the comments with no in the spirit. I got your bill, won't put on the mirrors. First young in the 8, man, run a 14 mil, started 14 grams. Ain't dope boy, diggers and diamonds and Tim. You should play with that boy, he is not one of them. Bro, I kept taking him, finally got me in her. Still making double, I'm talking what I seen. That's 2018, got up 20 if you hop in the bin. Y'all turn from the D to the A. I rock with the line, I rock with the brains.
Yeah, we pay. Yeah, we pay. I'ma turn it up a little more this time. Used to dream about getting out, got it on dry. I had a spot like a varsity. What do you have? About 20, I fuck what you buy. I put on trip, I believe I can find it. Know that I'm rich, but ain't no how to try. I had a show in Detroit and I started reviving. Spent 50 on all of the guys. All of these stores make a mission, and plus I'ma tip them, they holding my side. Get in your car and just put on your flashes and follow the hearses. You say you gon' ride, so somebody gon' die today. Well, let's turn a 5 to a dime, that's a double up. When I rock a church on my double cup, they have it, I'm praying, I give it up. Take a stay with a wood, make them give it up. No, I ran through a meal every week off of weed. But beat the try, give me some stick, got the back in the pickup, I won't even leave, run it up. Around, get the vet, DT, keep a hot bowl with me, I got love for DG. Chasing his papers since 12 or 13, running around in these streets, he with me and my keys. First for the hood, they fears. Spoiled, inquired about 5 and jury. I get the comments with number that's period. I got your B on one, put on the mirrors. First young in the A2 land, run a 14 mil, started 14 grams. No boy, tickets and diamonds and 10, you shouldn't play with that boy, he does not wanna live. I kept taking him, finally got me an error. Still making double all the time when I spin. That's 2018. Gotta come 20 if you hop in the bin. Y'all turn from the D to the A. I rock with the line. Yeah, I rock with the bread. Yeah, we pay. Yeah, we pay. First turn for the hood, they fears. Spoiled, inquired about 5 and jury. I get the comments with number that's period. I got your B on one, put on the mirrors. First young in the A2 land, run a 14 mil, started 14 grams. No boy, tickets and diamonds and 10, you shouldn't play with that boy, he does not wanna live. I kept taking him, finally got me an error. Still making double all the time when I spin. That's 2018. Gotta come 20 if you hop in the bin. Y'all turn from the D to the A. I rock with the line. Yeah, I rock with the bread. Yeah, we pay. Yeah, we pay.
Good evening and welcome to Mazza Farrow Field on the East Campus of Bridgewater State University for today's NCAA MASCAC Conference matchup, featuring the visiting Lancers of Worcester State University and your Bears of Bridgewater State University.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bridgewater State University is a safe, respectful, and inclusive community. We welcome and respect freedom of speech in all forms of peaceful protest in support of social justice and racial equity. We are committed to providing and supporting, learning and growing together in a welcoming and inclusive environment.
Let's meet today's starting lineups. First, for Worcester, starting in goal, a senior from Park Ridge, Massachusetts, number 1, Andy Ramirez. In defense, sophomore from Grafton, Massachusetts, number 3, Brendan Lauer. In the midfield, junior from Worcester, Massachusetts, number 6, Declan Ryder. In the midfield, sophomore from Bilbao, Spain, number 8, Wilbur Garcia. In the midfield, senior from Waltham, Massachusetts, number 10, Manny Ramirez. At forward, junior from Auburn, Massachusetts, number 16, Nate Lewos. In defense, freshman from El Paso, Texas, number 18, Rowdy Castro. In midfield, sophomore from Dudley, Massachusetts, number 20, Taylor Gavelitz. In defense, junior from Berkeley, California, number 24, Mal Hawkins. In defense, senior from Holden, Massachusetts, number 25, Matthew Alzamora. And at forward, junior from Springfield, Massachusetts, number 27, Matthew Bayonne. And the head coach for the Lancers is Aiden Abel-Falsley. And now, for your Bears of Bridgewater State University, starting in goal, graduate student from Sandwich, Massachusetts, number 1, Will Russell. In defense, sophomore from Rockland, Massachusetts, number 2, Gavin Norton. In defense, junior from Wilbraham, Massachusetts, number 4, Jack O'Toole. At forward, senior from Attleboro, Massachusetts, number 7, Will Haven. In the midfield, junior from Milford, Massachusetts, number 10, Nicholas Mateus. Forward, junior from Southborough, Massachusetts. Number 12, Carson Boyo. In defense, freshman from Northeastern, Massachusetts. Number 13, Hector Buccio. In defense, senior from New Bedford, Massachusetts. Number 14, Jacob Ramos. In midfield, sophomore from Cork, Ireland. Number 18, Ryan Daly. At forward, senior from East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. Number 23, David Nelson. And in defense, freshman, Ellington, Connecticut. Number 29, Ethan Mallet. The head coach for the Bears is Brendan Adams, now in his 22nd campaign. He is assisted by Victor DaCosta and Freddie Beckman. Officials for today's contest are Carlos Fernandez, Alan Sanchez, and Michael Ring. And at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
The NCAA, the Massachusetts State Collegiate Athletic Conference, and Bridgewater State University promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments, and any other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated in our grounds for removal from the site of competition. Also, consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages is prohibited.
What about the box itself? Sure. It's plugged in, right? Everything. Just like the thing.
shooting central, you guys over here.
$35.50 left in the first half for the Bears. Had some technical difficulties to start things out. We're back, I hope. Bears taking on their first MASCAC opponent of the season, Worcester State.
Good job, Dylan.
Worcester also taking on their first MASCAC opponent.
down. I'll try to, at the next stoppage in play, I'm going to try to adjust the angle so I can catch a little wider shot on the right. See if that helps. Right now I can't get it. It's like just outside my frame. perfect opportunity. Whoa, perfect opportunity. See if this makes it. Just barely makes a difference, so I can get it now. That's awesome. That's just
scored by number 29, Ethan Mallet, assisted by number 21, Nicholas Ribeiro, at the 10:45-minute mark. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sleep is the cousin, what a fit the family picture. You know from the time, we all know about the nature. It's all in the family, but we have a variation. No matter who's dying, it's a celebration. Back on the cameras, segregation. Up there is coming it up, you just coming up. Young men, they're on the chest, that's just for us. I don't feel like I'm in this, so I'ma keep on doing this. Let's teach you how young to a fish. So I couldn't maintain it. Just talk to us. All the shit is sweetest. I beat the beat up. Call it some deepest. Swimming through these scenes, through these just like sequence. They need me. I'm beating. Talking. Lay. Sir. Yeah. Yeah. Cage in the building. Already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun just remember when the summer shows up. Alright, the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun just remember when the summer shows up. If you ever had the feeling that you was being had, don't let you that make you mad. They treat you like a slave. Put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through they teeth. Hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh. Put my kicks up on they wrists, unaffected by they blitz. They get busy on they. See, that's how that shit down made me. That's how my daddy raised me. That glittering may not be gold, don't let nobody play me. If you are my homeboy, you never have to pay me. Don't then put your hands up. In times it's how you stand up. Oh, you be the man, cause a brand that the fans trust. So even if they ban us, they'll never slow my plans up. The show goes on all night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun just remember when it come out. The show goes on all right. The show goes on all night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun just remember when it come out. The show goes on. One in the air for the people ain't here. Two in the air for the father that's there. Three in the air for the kids in the ghetto. Four for the kids that don't wanna be there. None for the niggas trying to roll them back. Five in the air for the teacher not scared. Tell those kids that's living in the ghetto there's something back that the world is dead. Yeah, the world is yours. I was once that went through war. Terrified of the world. Now I'm on a world tour. I will give up everything. Even start a world war. For these ghetto girls and boys I'm rapping around the world for. Africa to New York. Haiti and I detour. Oakland out to Auckland. Got to strip to Detroit. Say hip hop only destroy. Tell them look at me, boy. Your son is I'm on my way to an island and I'm coming at the bottom. These broken be solid, but still talking. They say that they honest, I'm running it. But say that they got it. You're not what they get, it's investing in. I'm blaming on top. They don't want to see you win. They don't want to see the race. No, you don't want to see you caught up in this knowledge like the outer space. Thinking that they got no at the mission and I'm running out of space. Tell your homie, keep on coming out his mouth and shit is so running away. Better get lawyer money, better get some sick soy money. Running around like the Superman, don't be savage, get your mom insurance money. Cause I'm the one to put it on your money. I'm the one to make it happen to you. But you f***ing had to do it for me. Hop in the red and I bought it, it's litty again. Fly the fifth in the topic and litty again. All of my brothers is poppin', you know that we litty again. All in the four, fuck dollars, you know that we litty again. They don't wanna see the squad, they don't wanna see the rain. They don't wanna see the finish stars like she going out of space. Litty again, I gotta be litty again. Litty again, I gotta be litty again. See some money out of safe when they bought a rain, brought it on clouds. Thuggin' like they wonder when we in the city, they don't want problems. That they gon' rob us, but we coming for welfare. I shoot a bullet when I pull it, how you catch a bullet like an NFL player? Shooting on it was really, start lying on my loud and like I ain't, can't even be a side bitch. I'm in 9 chances, you ain't even looking like you a 5. Bro, trying to do it for Twitter when they used to do it for viral. I'm the man of the hour, I'm the with the airtime. Rolls Royce Ray, put your in the stars like she in the air. I'm about my hairline, I laugh about it, I be feeling them. See, we be both making M's, they be making memes, I be making millions. I just counted up a $2 million, for QM that's $250,000. They don't wanna see Jay drop 6 fly private when he go to Philly. Funny money, I know it's silly, but you don't feel me when I pull up and I got a ball for her. I promise she gon' know it's litty, mother. Yeah. Hop in the Raven, I bought it, it's litty again. Fly the fifth in the topic and litty again. All of my brothers is poppin', you know that we litty again. All in the four, fuck dollars, you know that we litty again. They don't wanna see the squad, they don't wanna see the rain. They don't wanna see you to the stars like she going out of space. Litty again, I gotta be litty again. Litty again, I gotta be litty again. All of my is way up, these haters, I know that they hate us. I score your like a layup, I make a meal like a layup. I pop a bill just to stay up. I said the lead is flying up. I'm with my team and we gone up. All of these throwing for no place. When we mix each other up, perfect time and then we blow it up. Get on my like the radio. Trying to put you there. I ain't tripping, it's a coconut. Put the right to the mother bus. Set the paper from the sofa. Lay on that paper. I am that second. Stay on that paper. I feel like it's a restraining on all that money. Cause y'all stay away from that paper. I know some they used to be running, but now they don't feel no way about this paper. I've been spending hundred. They thought I was making this paper. I think it's good, I be in this paper. Mine is working, man.
We don't have to worry about nothing. We got the fire, and we burning one hell of something. They're gonna see us from outer space, light it up. Like we're the size of the human race. When the lights turn down, they don't know what they heard. So much breathe loud, giving love to the world. When we raise in our hands, shining up to the sky. Cause we got the fire, yeah we got the fire. And we're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. Gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We don't wanna leave, no, we just wanna be right now, right now. I'm overseas. Is everybody's on the floor acting crazy, getting low till the lights out. Music song, I'm waking up. We stop the fight, and we stop it up. When we stop the now, we got the love. There's no sleeping now, no sleeping now. When the lights turn down, they don't know what they heard. So much breathe out, giving love to the world. When we raise in our hands, shining up to the sky. Cause we got the fire, yeah we got the fire. And we're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. Gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. When the lights turn down, they don't know what they heard. So much
hear ourselves. No, but I wasn't expecting to. Yeah, that's not how this setup works. Well, we're back with you folks, albeit in modified form. Some technical difficulties, but we've got stuff sorted out, for the most part. Bears with a 1-0 lead over the Worcester State Lancers here at Peter Mazzaferro Field on an increasingly brisk Friday night. You can really feel fall in the air here at the Swenson Athletic Complex on the campus of Bridgewater State University. Welcome back to the Bears Sports Network, or welcome aboard if you're joining us for the first time tonight. I'm Matt Donahue, taking over for my colleague Luke Mansfield here in the second half. Bears, as I mentioned to nobody because my headphones weren't working the first time around, with a 1-0 lead coming into the second half. A brilliant goal by Ethan Mallett set up off a corner kick by Nicholas Ribeiro, and that remains the only score of the night. But the Lancers looking to tie things up, and they have just over 40 minutes to do it. This is the first MASCAC meetup of the season for the Bears, and they're looking to make an impression. So it's a free kick for Bridgewater State after the foul. It's going to be Norton, who takes it. Trying to offer a set piece to make it 2-0. Official blows the whistle. Norton in. Disputed around. Still on the ground, not quite cleared, but a little bouncer gets some airtime. Enough to come to the starting keeper, Andy Ramirez. The academic senior, athletic junior from Waltham. Bears trying to grab one back, but that is stopped by Bayonne. Little roller up ahead. No trouble for Russell. He'll get it with his feet. A couple of academic and athletic eligibility year swaps on this Worcester State side. Russell, the drop kick from the end of his 18. And it comes to David Nelson. Nelson, across over to Halbin, trying to set somebody back up. Looks like the only person he really ended up setting up was Rowdy Castro, the freshman from El Paso, Texas, who got the start tonight for Worcester State. And a true freshman at that, it's worth noting, given again the academic and athletic eligibility differences. That's a hard fall. They say play on. It was Halbin who was tripped, but no foul on the play. Headed over by Buccio, popped into the air by Matias. Still disputed around, and eventually trying to get a good look at it are the Lancers. It comes the way of Lower. Up ahead, booted backwards by Buccio. And a lazy little bouncer coming the way of Ramirez. Lancers trying to tie this up as best they can. They're trying to field their way into Bridgewater State territory, but can't quite get there for long. They're just kind of floating around midfield for the moment. This little slider in there, that was some defensive work from Rivera. He takes it back, if only for a fleeting moment for Bridgewater State. Hitting the deck. Possible good chance, a little bit of a header action, still bouncing around. That was Bayonne who laid his head on it, had a good chance, but wasn't quite able to get the angle he was looking for. The whistle and play ends up stopping, I believe it was offside. with that shot on goal. Up in the air. Misses everybody at first. Corralled initially. Bears trying to step the other way. Halbin diligently drops it back to Matthias. Matthias with some room to work within midfield. Drops back to O'Toole. O'Toole with Gavalitz on him. Gets it back from Norton, and he'll just kind of play keep away. Mallet, the goal scorer. Up ahead, was trying to hit Silvestri, but didn't quite get there. Taking a tumble is Matthias, and that will be a foul against Worcester State. Matthew Bayonne initially with some protests, but continues on. Bayonne, a Springfield native, but played his high school ball a few time zones away at the New Mexico Military Institute. So a free kick. Trying to run it down is Hawkins. Hawkins jumping over. Thankfully, no true collision there between Hawkins and Ramos. Worcester State will win the possession as it was booted out of the side by Jacob Ramos. He was doing the run there with Mal Hawkins, the junior from Berkeley, California. Mostly Massachusetts representation on this Lancers side, as is standard operating procedure for a MASCAC club, as that one is booted way high by Ryder. Typical for a MASCAC club to be mostly stocked with Massachusetts natives, but a couple of notable out-of-staters on both sides. Certainly a few for the Lancers, Hawkins among them. And a couple as well for Bridgewater State. Mallett, in fact, tonight's goal scorer, a Connecticut native. Ramirez dares Halbin to run up on him, then picks it up. Up ahead, Hawkins trying to poke in from the left, working with Ramos. Ramos wins it cleanly this time. Ramos tumbles. Hawkins wins it back in the scrum. Bears trying to clear it. O'Toole gets it out of the way. There was nobody around him, but he only gets it as far as Manny Ramirez. Up ahead, Tomei. Tomei working on it with O'Toole, trying to poke his way in from the right. O'Toole and double teaming as well as Tyler Chang. Chang now working his way back on behalf of the Bears. Watching Manny Ramirez. O'Toole has to boot it past Gavelets. Matias as well puts it up ahead. Trying to roll his way in is Borden. He does the dance on the near right side with Lower. They're still trying to hash out who's going to take care of this. Worcester State with the throw-in. Now rolling up ahead is Garcia. Tomei up ahead by Manny Ramirez, only gets it as far as O'Toole.
That's better than before.
We apologize for any audio interruptions. We've been doing some rejiggering and messing with doohickeys and the like here in the broadcast booth at Peter Mazzaferro Field. Ramos now on the near side. Putting the footwork on Hawkins, pokes it up ahead and gives it right away to Manny Ramirez. Garcia. Across now to Tomei. Back to Ryder. Bears rebuff. It'll stay with Worcester State. Just over 26 to play. Bears up 1-0. Even immediately sent backwards. And it's going to come the way of Lewos. He'll let it roll out. Worcester will throw in again from within their own end. Poked about. Here's Lewos. Andy Ramirez, the keeper. Lower. Lets it roll out. Last touched by him. And Bridgewater State will get a shot with a throw in now. Ramos to take it. Healy. One very out-of-stater on this Bridgewater State side. The Irishman Healy. Bears protesting that was out of bounds, and the official agrees. Bridgewater with another throw in. Healy came in as a substitution for Ribeiro a little while ago. Ramos was he who came in for Silvestri, and Borden came in for Gavin Norton. For the Lancers, it was Dylan Verby coming in for Gavalets, and Hawkins who came in for Matthew Bayonne. Up ahead, Matthias looks like he's got an open lane, wants to find something a little better, trying to work his way around Ryder. He drops it aside to Borden. Borden was thinking Healy, but got his pocket picked. Good read there on the play. That was Garcia who saw exactly where that was going. Lower, up ahead, only to Ramos. Ends up getting it back from his own man Hawkins. Garcia, with the footwork, drops back. Aside to Alzamora. Longer ball by Lewos. Verby was he who dropped it back at midfield. Up ahead, and it's Verby doing the dance a little bit there for just a second with Mallet. Now outside, trying to poke his way in, Tomei. Getting double teamed. He's got Verby nearby, but unable to do anything. And that's a tumble, and that's a foul against the Lancers. The man hitting the deck looks like from here it was Chang. So O'Toole, the free kick. Jack O'Toole, the big boot from Wilbraham. At midfield, it was Hawkins who started dropping it back a little bit, and now here's Alzamora. Garcia. Back to Matthew Alzamora. Ryder. Long ball up ahead, nobody to capitalize. Russell's just going to come over to collect. A little bit of brinkmanship there from Verby, who comes in and forces Russell to pick it up. A little over 22 to play here at Peter Mazzaferro Field. Bears up 1-0. Hawkins back to Lower. Ahead, that one was nearly given away by Manny Ramirez. Ryder trying to save it. 2-on-1 against Halbin. And almost a little bit of extracurricular there, looks like, between Halbin and Ryder, who have still not exactly separated until just now. It's going to be a Bridgewater State free kick. Foul is against Worcester, and taking it will be Matthias from the right side. Nick Matthias, the junior from Milford, played his high school ball in Framingham. So not excruciatingly far from Worcester's home base. Closer certainly than we are. The free kick is in. Arc, booting around. Halbin thinks he's got a shot. He puts it high and wide. That might have been deflected out of the way at one point. Not quite the angle Halbin wanted on it. But initially a very good chance at a good look. Just under 21 to play. For the Lancers and the Bears alike, it'll be a couple of subs between them. A deflection it must have been, and it will be Matthias this time taking a corner kick for Bridgewater State. He puts it in from the right side. Still batted around, not quite cleared. Healy trying to poke something through, blocked again. Good presence of mind on the defensive end by the Lancers. Now O'Toole trying to get in the mix. It's a whole team effort nearly for Bridgewater State. Up ahead, Hawkins trying to play 1-on-2, nearly working his way through a couple, and that one is just stripped away. Mallet is putting his body on the line for the steal, and he does. Up ahead, trying to hit Borden from the right side. He is not going to outrun that ball, and Andy Ramirez comes right over to it. What a slide by Mallet there. Some defensive action trying to get a steal there, and does. Chang now trying to poke it the other way. Slides himself. A little bit more ill-fated, though. Under 20 to play in the match. The substitutions are 2. For Bridgewater State, Halbin gets a breather. Thomas Terry comes in for him. And for Worcester State, Garcia gets a breather. Mohammed Ali, and it is Mohammed, not Muhammad. Sophomore from Worcester, played his high school ball at Burncoat High right there in the city. He comes in for the Lancers. Up ahead. And that's going to be a foul all day. It was Borden trying to sneak his way up, but that was too much contact moving backwards. Taken away immediately by the Bears, though. What's some footwork by Matias tonight? Nelson trying to work his way up. He delivers a push to Ryder. No foul yet. These two are basically having a boxing match. Worcester basically well, not basically. They do steal it away. And we have a player down on the field. That's the whistle and the stoppage in play. And in fact, the clock has stopped as well at 18 minutes and 33 seconds left. It's been very physical out here all night. We've really seen these two sides grind each other down defensively. A lot of pushing, a lot of shoving. Thankfully hasn't gotten extracurricular yet. Lewos will take the free kick from just about exactly midfield. Slightly into Lancer territory. Bears bench still trying to organize something. Looks like they're trying to get Nelson over there to sit somewhere else in the formation. Or in fact, maybe sub out. David Nelson's walking all the way over to the sideline, and it looks like he's subbing out. He picked up a yellow card as a prize for his pushing and shoving with Ryder, and he will have a seat for at least right now. So Colin Evans will come in for Nelson. Evans, the sophomore from East Longmeadow. Another gentleman out west. Lewos, the free kick. Tall. Moving around. O'Toole headed but not completely clear. Trying to step over for it. They have really been scrapping out there tonight. And Bridgewater State is able to win a foul on that one. So O'Toole will get things started for Bridgewater State yet again. And with 18 flat to play in the match, he boots it. And he boots it all the way out. Jack O'Toole's boot from just about the 15-yard line, maybe between the 15 and the 10, goes so long and meets so little resistance. The 21-yard line, excuse me, just about that same neighborhood, goes so far and meets so little resistance that he gives up a goal kick to Worcester State. Ribeiro back into the match. Nicholas for Nicholas Swamp. Ribeiro replaces Matias, and that was a hard collision. Crowd immediately groaning, whistles everywhere. It's Healy who hit the deck, sitting up but clearly sore, and that's a yellow card on Manny Ramirez. Appears to be Manny Ramirez who was just shown that yellow. That's going to be booking number 3 of the night overall and number 2. No, excuse me, that yellow is going to be on Alzamora. Ramirez was standing nearby when the card was shown, but I stand corrected. The card is for Matthew Alzamora. Still the second booking of the night for the Lancers. 3rd overall. Ribeiro with a free kick. Puts it skyward. Lewos got in there to interrupt the play. But he coughs up, I believe, another corner kick for Bridgewater State. It's a breezy night here in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. We've heard much over the last few days about the possible effects of Storm Lee, not sure if it's a hurricane or tropical storm right now, and some residual effects that this part of the world is supposed to be feeling just about tomorrow morning. There's a tumble there. They're going to give up yet another one. No, I stand corrected. No, I stand corrected yet again. I don't know why that got heaved all the way back in. Worcester State's trying to chew some clock. I don't know why that would be, but it is a Bridgewater State corner kick. Ribeiro's moving to the opposite side to kick it. But we've heard much, as I was saying, about the weather around these parts over the next day or two. Tomorrow, some football action here at Peter Mazzaferro Field. Bears football taking on Plymouth State. As this one's booted around and right into the chest of Ramirez. What a save! Andy Ramirez, great read, planted himself in just the right spot and makes a crucial save. Ramos nearly thought he had goal number 2 for Bridgewater State, but Ramirez right on top of it. As I was saying, football tomorrow delayed until 2 o'clock, a couple of hours pushed back as a result of possible weather conditions in this area. Thinking some wind, thinking some rain. And you can already feel the air is getting brisker. The breezes are getting a little firmer here in Bridgewater. Big free kick by Liwos. Moving around, rolling towards Russell. He's able to corral it, no trouble. 15 minutes to play in the match. Bears looking for some MASCAC championship revenge. They lead the Lancers 1-0. Evans nearly ran it down, but it gets the boot from Rowdy Castro. And a couple of subs. Looks like one, at least 2 for the Lancers, excuse me. So we're back in action in Liwos. Drops it over to Alzamora, who then in turn gets it to Lower. Up ahead, Wilbur Garcia is back in. Bears and Lancers both bringing back in some starters. Bayonne, Gavalitz, and Wilbur Garcia all back in for the Lancers. And for Bridgewater State, Gavin Norton will re-enter for Dom Borden. Booted backwards by Ramos, only gets it as far as Ryder, and Liwos able to collect at midfield. Here's Garcia. Ryder. Back to Alzamora. Thinking set piece. So Lancers with a throw in deep in their own territory with 13 to play. Comes, I believe, to Bayonne on the far side over there. You know, a couple days ago we were up here in this booth talking about how hot and humid it was. How strikingly tropical it was in an area that usually does not get that kind of weather in September. Tonight, like a completely different part of the world, it truly feels like New England in September here at Peter Mazzaferro Field tonight. Chang the throw-in. Both of these teams, with the exception of that set-piece goal, have really been able to put spanners in the works for each other here tonight. There's been a few good chances, but they haven't been coming hot and heavy. That's going to be a whistle. Looks like it's Alzamora, who is really hoping he doesn't pick up yellow card number 2 here. And he won't. The punishment, however, will be a Bridgewater free kick. It's going to be Ribeiro taking it. Ramos also standing in the vicinity initially, but now he'll jog into the scrum. 11.5 to play in the match. Bears up 1-0 on the Lancers, who vanquished them in the conference championship last season. Free kick up and around. Rumbling. O'Toole trying to get it back to friendly feet, but now tearing the other way with it are the Lancers. This one's up ahead to Hawkins. He'll try to drop it back. Misses his intended target, ends up only getting it as far as Tom Terry. Whistle stops play, and it's a foul against Bridgewater State. Terry in the mix there. He must have gotten a little too physical. Lewos looking for his out. Finds it. Long up ahead. His intended target, Gavalitz. Rejected by Buccio. Long ball up ahead. Just outruns Terry, and Andy Ramirez able to clear it away. Bayonne trying to do the dance here with Norton, and he wins it. Bayonne again got it back from Garcia on the play. Drops back to Ryder at midfield. More switches than a basketball game on these defensive possessions here for Bridgewater State. Healy poking it up ahead. Terry just gets outrun by Alzamora, who puts it skyward, and play is stopped for a second. It's going to be another foul against Bridgewater State. A deep free kick. Lewos puts it up. No clear winner until it comes back to Alzamora, running with Terry. Terry with his hands up. Alzamora just keeps it inside, but he gives it right away to Evans. Evans up ahead to Healy. Healy trying to angle left. Now working his way in, trying to get his way around Lewos. He stops. Lewos interrupts. Lewos takes a tumble, no foul on the play initially, and then there is a whistle afterwards. A second after the foul, a whistle by our official here tonight. It will be a Worcester State free kick. And in a quirky move, in a quirky spot for him anyway, it's going to be Andy Ramirez taking it from relatively far off to the right and relatively far outside of his box. There's a player down. It's Gavalitz, and he's right back up on his feet. Very glad to see. But the athletic trainer still coming out here to have a look at him. Nonetheless, maybe a little bit of a head bump that they don't like. Our clock is stopped with 8 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the match. Bears up 1-0. Mallet the goal scorer. Ribeiro the assist out of the corner kick. And Taylor Gavalitz is going to see his night come to an end. Must be something there they didn't want to see. You never want to play it fast and loose when somebody bumps their head. Very understandable, and I think that's a smart move. So they're going to step aside for a second as Ryder and Manny Ramirez have a word with our official. They talk with Gavalitz, and Gavalitz is now back in. I stand corrected. They pulled him aside like he was going to sub out. But Taylor Gavalitz is right back in. Must not be as bad as that movement suggested. And that's for the better. You never want to see a player hurt. So glad that Gavalitz is able to remain in the match. Lancers trying to take it the other way now. 8.5 minutes to equalize this thing or better. Gavalitz, ironically enough, on the left side, but he puts it at just the wrong angle, and it's out the back for a Bridgewater goal kick. Just couldn't quite get the cut he wanted on that intended pass to his right. Just under 8 to play. Ramirez now down to Garcia. Cross to Tomei. Garcia again, trying to work with what little space he has. Puts it up. Don't really know who that was for. I think maybe he was trying to get something to Hawkins, who looked like he had a more central lane, but he just gave it a little bit too much gas, Garcia did. And it's out the other side of the back. David Nelson is back into the game for Bridgewater State. He will replace Evans, who replaced him on the initial substitution. Garcia at midfield. Now Ryder. Ryder up ahead, comes along to Tomei. Lower. Trying to think set piece here, headed around, just misses. Garcia booted backwards by Buccio. Only taken back as far as Ryder. And Worcester initially able to hold, and they do. Oh, interruption there by Nelson. He read that pass, but it's going to be out of bounds off of him. Throw in from Lower. Headed promptly by Mallet. Healy trying to win the battle with Ryder. Healy trips, Healy falls. It's going to be... Well, that's not a super clear gesture, but it looks like, based on what we're seeing, a foul against Worcester State. So O'Toole and Buccio, the two big boots out back. It'll be O'Toole taking it. This free kick that makes it to Nelson in the right corner. Trying to lay some work on, and he gets his pocket pick. There's something you don't see every day, but Arthur Tomei pulls it off. Gavalitz boots it right into the body of Mallet. Garcia nearly gets the runaround from Ribeiro, but he hangs on to it. Garcia, oh, he's playing with his food a little bit over here. Trying to hang on. He drops it over to Tomei. Across the side, headed out of the way. That was some defense by Chang with his cranium. Beat Hawkins on the jump. Out, and it's going to go the way of the Bears. Looks like it was last touched by Bayonne. Bayonne now yields to Chang, who will handle the throw-in business. 5 minutes flat to play in the match. Bears up 1-0 and trying to protect it. Healy. Up ahead, Halbin. Can't hang initially. Boot backwards by Mallet. Nobody there to run into. Scooped up by Andy Ramirez. Ryder. And now Manny Ramirez. Alzamora. Up ahead, gets it to Ramos, though, not his intended target. Ramos, triple teamed, though, has to get a boost from Buccio, who boots it backwards. Worcester State backfield devoid of Lancers, but also pretty devoid of Bears most of the time. There really hasn't been anyone back there, save for Halbin, to try to capitalize on some of these long balls. They've been keeping their numbers advantage pretty pressed up against their own goal. That's going to be another foul, and it's going to again go the way of Bridgewater State. So Bears in their first MASCAC match of the season, protecting a 1-0 lead against the team that took them down in the big dance last year in the MASCAC. Bears looking for some sweet revenge, but still 3 minutes and 16 seconds for the Lancers to draw this one up. Ryder at midfield. Garcia. Up ahead to Tomei. Tomei boot through. Missed everybody. Out the side, and it's a Bridgewater throw-in. Chang the heave. Lewos and Halbin trying to run it down. It gets rejected backwards by Alzamora. Bears are fine to chew clock. But the Lancers really have an imperative with the last 2:22 here in the match. They're trying to press it. Here's Garcia. Oh, he gets his lunch eaten by Healy on the possession there, and here comes Ribeiro. Nelson working in from the right this time. Given some space, maybe a little too much, trying to work his way through three. Somehow he's doing it. Nelson poking his way through. Nelson advancing and interrupting the play, sliding in. It's a collision, no foul on the play. And it looks like Andy Ramirez comes up limping a little bit there initially. Might just be the way he was moving. But Ramirez able to lay down the hammer and keep Nelson from poking his way in. Prevents a crucial second goal. Here's Lower. Just over a minute and a half to play. Lancers really need to start getting the juices pumping. Bridgewater State's going to win the ball back. Looks like it might have been a foul. Ramos trying to figure out where to throw it in. Maybe some ignorance feigning for the sake of clock killing. Jacob Ramos, a very competent soccer player. A guy who's been with this program for 4 years now, the New Bedford native. He's in his senior year. Under a minute to play. Ramos, a glum little free kick, intentionally so, I should say. Nelson can't believe that was out of bounds off the Bears, and now here come the Lancers trying to work quickly. Gavalitz puts it airborne. Hawkins trying to win the jump. Booted up by Mallet. He interrupts things for a little while, kicks it out. And this will be how the Bears play defense for the final 30 seconds of the match. Comes to Garcia. Up ahead, here's Gavalitz. Through to Garcia. Garcia trying to nutmeg Healy. He cannot. Healy wins that one. Bayonne trying to chase it down and collect. 8 seconds to play. Bayonne trying to poke his way through. He's double teamed. A whole lot of pushing. Matthew Bayonne trying to arc one in. It's into the gloves of Russell. And that will be the last action of the match. And it will be the first action of what Bridgewater State hopes is a very positive MASCAC season. Your final score, Bridgewater State 1, Worcester State 0. A wire-to-wire one, capped in the middle nearly by a set-piece goal for Ethan Mallet, delivered in by Nicholas Ribeiro, and Bridgewater State with a nifty little piece of revenge over the Lancers. Again, your final score, Bridgewater 1, Worcester 0. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Bears Sports Network. I'm Matt Donahue on the mic. He's Luke Mansfield on the camera. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time, and remember that every day is a great day to be a Bear. Take care of yourselves, folks.